Okay. So
Um,
I think it would be fun because I specifically erased the ratings of my opponents. I specifically deleted. I had
to
them in there,
get?
but I moved. Yeah, because I want you to guess. I think it'll be a fun exercise for you.
Terrible.
Yeah. And
Terrible.
when you do guess, just remember that CFC, which is the Canadian Chess Federation, that our ratings are approximately 100 higher than FIDE. So if someone is
Okay.
like 1500 FIDE, they might be 1600 CFC. So just keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay.
I never did this. I mean, I'm not Gotham. I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
did
yeah.
guess the yellow.
And this is, but and
So,
these
oh
are
my God.
tournament games too. So that'll be interesting.
Y- Yeah, it's long game. So, I mean, I'm hard pressed to be accurate here. Uh, so tell me about your tournament. How did it go? How do you feel?
Yeah. Well, for anyone that's watching this video, so first of all, I'm not going to post this video on YouTube, I think, until after I finish all of my recaps, so that there's no spoilers for people on YouTube. For anyone that's on Twitch right now, which right now there's only like a couple, I think, there will be a bit of spoilers that I haven't disclosed yet on YouTube. But yeah, so how did it go? Well, since you don't know the ratings of my opponents, it's hard for you
Like,
to determine, right? Because I had so many draws. Um,
yeah, exactly. I don't know how.
yeah, well, yeah. So, well, it was pretty terrible. It was my first time at this location, which was a little bit farther of a travel, just a little bit, and it was quite hot inside, and the venue wasn't so great, uh, and the rows of tables were so close to each other, so people
Oh,
keep bumping into you, and when they walk past you, like they always bump, so and the chairs were very uncomfortable, they had these wooden chairs that have not proper back, uh, so it was very painful. It was an open section, and so it mixed a lot of little underrated kids that are very low rated. Like we had players like as well, very. I don't want to give you any hints, but we had very low rated kids. Um, and then, we also had like maybe 5 or 6 masters as well. Um, but I think personally, this will be the last open I will ever play in. At least if it's only 6 rounds. I'm thinking of playing in the Canadian Open next year, which I think is 9 rounds. Is it 9 rounds?
cool. Yeah.
I think 9 rounds. Um, but that gives you more of a chance. But yeah. Long story short, it was a terrible tournament for me, and probably won't play an Open again.
Well, I mean, but why won't you play in an open? You mean you're going to play just with tournaments with sections?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
think
that's
about
a
that?
bit harsh. That's a bit of a drastic decision.
You think?
Uh, yeah, because I mean, I get what happened to you, and it's happening the same pretty much everywhere. There are many underrated players, kids, and well, all kinds of players. I think it has to do with the pandemics. I mean, it's been like a year and a half of people just playing online, getting better, studying, playing all the time, and that didn't just impact the ratings until they started playing again. But still, they haven't catched up. It's happening a lot here. There are many surprises within the first round of the tournaments. I always see an international master, grandmaster falling to some 1800, 1900 player. It's happening a lot. And you see players like getting 100 points out of tournament, 150. So it's going to take a while to catch up. Um,
The thing though that it's so painful, Alessandro, is if I beat my opponent, I'll get no points.
Yeah.
So what is the point of me playing in the Open? Because like I can't even gain any points even if I won all my games.
Yeah, this really sounds like a very hard Open in the sense that there are not that many masters, and it sounds like there were a lot of underrated players.
There were masters, like there were actually a good spectrum of players of rating, but the underrated kids were just ridiculous, and we'll see when you find out their rating. Maybe you'll change your tune.
Yeah, no, it's happening a lot. I recently played in tournament. Well, the last one I played, and yeah, there were so many kids that were winning like 100, 150 points this tournament. They were supposed to be, I don't know, 16 or 1700, and they were playing way better than that. There are many players that should be above 2000. They're really low. They're still low. There are cases here. There have been kids that were rated 17 or 1800 at the beginning of the year, and now they are 2200.
Ouch.
And closing into 2300s. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible for the poor people that play them along the way.
Yeah, you have to, donating points.
Yeah, inevitably. It's hard. So which game do you want to start with?
It's up to you.
Okay. I would think about starting from round 2 because
round one was,
I think you want just...
Yeah. Okay, but take a guess for round 1's rating. That one was that was a steamroll, but still, it'd be fun to guess.
1300?
No, 700.
700.
700.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that bad. I mean,
well,
he lost a piece.
Yeah. 700. So that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be higher. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it wasn't just, I mean, from 700, I expect, I mean, him to hang a piece, leaving just hanging there. It wasn't exactly like that. I mean, you won comfortably, but it wasn't that he just left all the pieces undefended and he just lost. Yeah, well, I earned how much? 600 points. I was 600 points off. Okay.
Yeah. But he was provisional. He ended up with 2 draws in that tournament. He drew his last 2 games. Yeah.
No, okay. And this one was the master, so that gives.
Oh yeah, how did you know that? Because how did you know that?
Because you told me that you were going to play against the master.
Oh, I said round 2. Oh, too bad. Okay, so you know. So I'll tell you. Well,
no, but it's a game you lost, so I kind of figured out.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, because I'd be happier, right? if it wasn't a loss. Okay, but so give a guess of his rating. You know he's a master.
This one is hard because he played well. I mean, but the 95 was really bad. I mean, just based on 95 on move 17 that he played, I'll guess that he must be...
So remember, we're 100 points higher than FIDE.
Oh, yeah, okay. 2100, I was...
No, 2311.
Yeah. What?
Wow,
95 was a really bad blunder.
Yeah,
I
think he just didn't respect me, and so he just played quickly. I think he underestimated me and just
because you're essentially winning after 95 or very close to
I'm
it.
better.
Really yeah. Wow, then yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell just based on that because anyone can make that mistake.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he played well. I was interested in the opening of this game. You did well.
Did you read my annotations?
Yeah. And he plays the Petrosian system against the Queen's Indian.
Yeah. I think Kasparov also played this a lot.
Yeah, he won a lot of games with this. Important games. I think Kasparov Portage, the one where he sacrifices a bit. yeah, he sacrificed a pawn d5 and then a bishop on h7. I think that game features this opening. Also, Kasparov Anderson, that's another famous game where he sacrificed everything. Bishop b7, knight c3, d5. You knew your theory, I'm sure.
No, I didn't. I don't.
No?
I don't know d4 very well, but what's funny is like a day or two previously, I was watching a video from international master Casa Corley, who has a YouTube videos where he does deep analysis of his tournament games, and he played the same opening as Black, but instead of e3, I think was it bishop g5? I don't know. That doesn't seem to be a.
That's a bit odd. Normally, you want to keep some pieces of white.
Maybe it's here. No, it's here. Here, bishop g5 here.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So I was
right away.
So this was fresh in my mind, and then it was, but it was a different variation. It was queen a4. Yeah, it was queen a4, and then so I actually was analyzing this, building it into my repertoire, and so I was prepared for this line because it was directly fresh in my mind. But the e3, yeah, I didn't know this, so I had to think every move. Yeah.
Yeah, there's also the idea of playing queen c2, so you can play e4 in one step, but e3 is not inferior to it. It's more solid. White will try to push e4 in the future, most likely. So both moves are quite okay. Bishop e7. Were you surprised by bishop b5 check?
Yes, I was surprised.
Yeah.
And he whipped it out like every move. I don't know if he's trying to intimidate me or what, but he just instantly. I guess this is all just basic theory. And I did prepare for him, by the way, which a lot of people, they make fun of me because they're like, "Why are you preparing? Like, this guy's 2300. Like, you're not good enough to prepare for someone." But hey, he played like this is exactly what he doesn't deviate from what I prepared for him. He plays d4. He plays these setups. So it was a little helpful for me to quickly prepare. I only prepared like 15 minutes before the round. I didn't have much time, but the preparing did help.
It's very important to prepare. I mean, not only you might a fresh position that you just saw on the board, which is great, but also it helps you learn openings. I mean, many people are not so hardworking in this aspect of the game. Many people don't just study that many openings, but if they are active players and they are used to preparing, they build full repertoires like that. I mean, it's a very important part of studying chess openings, actually. And it's actually much easier to learn openings this way than just hitting the books and and databases and just playing through the variations. If you have a game and you're really invested on it, then you definitely learn it a lot better. So yeah, preparing it is useful, not only for the game, also for your opening prep in general. Why do you think bishop b5 check makes sense here instead of, say, bishop c4?
Instead of bishop, well, I think it's a little similar because I'm kind of cheating here because I'm remembering something that Casa Corley, who I told you I was looking at a game from his similar. I think it wasn't the same position, but I think this is similar to the idea of, if you let me just go back here temporarily, in the Catalan. Oh, sorry, this is not the Catalan. I got to go way back here. Sorry. I think it's a similar idea of when black in the Catalan gives bishop b4 check and puts white's knight or bishop on d2, which is a worse square, so that they can't. Ideally, the bishop or the knight is not on d2, and black will come back, and so black can say that white had the tiny concession here was a piece on d2. And I think that is a similar idea here when white plays bishop b5, because either the knight, well, no, I forget. I think the knight can't come because I think knight e5 hits, but it's a similar idea because then c6 has to be played and then bishop d3, which is what happened in the game. And I think black would prefer that the bishop or that the pawn isn't on c6.
Exactly. You're normally going to play c5. You play for c5 here. You have to hit the center at some point, and maybe this will put you play c5 earlier, because otherwise your bishop is just trapped behind the pawn. If you had this pawn on c7, you might play other stuff first, and maybe you can reserve yourself for c5 in the future. Maybe it doesn't make such a big difference, but c6 is definitely not useful for you.
So white is kind of defining the structure a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe you're just going to transpose if you play bishop d3 right away, because at some point you will play c5.
Yeah.
But c6 isn't helping you anyway, so he makes you play it before he goes back to d3, which makes sense.
So he's directing what way the game's going.
Yeah, now you will have to play c5 sooner rather than later, because yeah, the pawn on c6 is just blocking your bishop.
Yeah, I was considering doing it here, but I just, since I didn't know this opening very well, I thought, better safe than sorry. Let's just develop the knight. I don't want to be caught with my pants down. So let's do here first, and then I can play c5 later.
Yeah, I like your approach. I mean, the only question that remains to be answered before playing c5 is if you're going to play knight c6 or knight d7. If you're going to play knight d7 anyway, then you might as well play it right now. Or take on c3 and play knight to d7. That's also right, I guess. But yeah, if you're not going to play for knight c6, then definitely you can do it in any order. And normally you don't want to play knight c6 here. It's not terrible, but you're probably going to miss the knight on f6. In fact, and then I'm going to compare this with another variation that it's become popular because it's really solid for black. It's from the Tarrasch defense with knight takes d5, and it's very similar to this. Only in this variation you get, white gets to keep more pieces on the board, which should be a bit better for him, but still your position is rock solid and you shouldn't have any problems. He played e4, so knight takes c3, b takes c, c5. Up to here, I think he played. Well, there are options. You can play bishop, the bishop to f4. You can also play bishop b2, expecting this. In this case, you're not going to take. Otherwise, the bishop on b2 is just fully justified. You're probably going to keep the tension in that case. But after bishop f4, now you play rook e8.
Yeah, so
I'm not so sure about.
I had no idea. First of all, I spent. Hang on, I've got. Whoops. I've got my score sheets here, so I can look at how long I spent. Yeah, I spent 9 minutes on this move. Because I at this point, first of all, this was very annoying for me. Bishop f4. This really annoyed me because it's hard to find a move when I'm not familiar with this position, and my queen is stuck in the middle, which is just very frustrating. And so yeah, I thought for 9 minutes I couldn't come up with anything great, and so I played rook e8, basically kind of just like I played rook e8 because I thought, okay, maybe I might put the bishop on f8 or the knight on f8, which is what happened later. I thought maybe we go knight f8 to g6 or bishop on f8. But yeah, it was kind of just like a waiting move. I didn't really know what to do. And same with like rook c8. Those were kind of the only two moves I was really considering here.
You didn't consider anything else? No.
No. Like, I mean, I don't think so. No.
What about knight f6 at some point? I mean, right now or after c takes d, knight f6, you just discarded right away? Were you scared of e5? What was the thing with it?
I think my concern was my queen. I felt uneasy about my queen on d8. I've been in a lot of situations where, because like, you know, white has a lot of freedom. You can just sidestep and then rook d1. There's a lot of openings that I play in certain Sicilians where my queen just gets really awkward and doesn't have it. It kind of gets stuck in the center, and I was a little bit nervous of that here. So that's why I was trying to kind of give my queen some freedom. That's why I like rook e8. I thought maybe, I don't know. I thought maybe I could free things up with I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds a bit undetermined though, because rook e8 is actually just restricting your queen even more, if anything.
Yeah, I thought possibly like if I don't go, like I could also maneuver bishop f8 and then queen e7. It's like an idea.
Yikes. The pieces look really clumsy in those on those spots. I mean, imagine a queen here with a bishop on f8. Just to get the bishop out, you have to play g6, which is so weakening. That looks really sketchy.
Yeah, that was kind of my plan.
Yeah, I mean that's part of a weakness of yours, of seeing ghosts, as you yourself put it in one of the games. Because nothing, I mean, it's really far from happening. I mean, he has to play the queen somewhere. His queen is exactly the same situation. I mean, yeah, he can play queen e2, but then, for example, after c takes, he has this small center, which is decent. It looks like he has a lot of central control, but it also needs some maintenance. It's not so easy to keep the pawns defended, and you're going to attack them to force white into pushing them. He will probably not, because then he'll leave just so many weak squares. I mean, e5 just leaves d5 undefended. This pawn on d4 will be backward, and it doesn't really look like he has a huge attack or anything. So this would be pretty normal, and I think you're doing quite okay.
I guess I would be a little nervous of like e5, knight d4, and then kind of this action. I'm kind of worried he's got 3 pieces and a queen against my king side.
Yeah, but you have a huge knight on d5, chances of invading on the queen side. This pawn will be a constant worry for him. And I don't see a way for white to just bring the pieces quickly to the king side, especially the queen. The queen is really hard to transport all the way to the king side. And your position is harder to crack than it looks like. And you have your fair share of positional compensation for the space advantage that white just got. And he has some weaknesses to worry about. I don't see this as easy for white at all. I mean, I'll probably keep everything together with queen e2, which is, I guess, the most normal. Then bring the rooks to the center.
Yeah. So then what do
either d1 and c1.
Yeah. Sorry. So what would I do with my queen here? I guess just hang out in the center until we maybe trade some stuff off, or.
Yeah, it looks like there's no problem here. I mean, he needs to open the d5 for anything to happen, but I don't really see how that's gonna happen, really. And now I don't know. You have rook c3 in mind. this looks really solid. I mean, even though, yeah, he has more space, but this is kind of how the game goes after you take with the piece on d5 in the opening. I mean, here, I'm going to go back. After knight takes d5, you kind of know that this is the case. He just traded lateral pawn for your central pawn. He's going to have a central majority. Your plan now is, to exchange some minor pieces so that you don't get asphyxiated by the central pawns, and to put pressure in the center. Because white will succeed in playing e4 here. That's kind of out of the question. And you have your c5 break, and then you can put pressure in the center. And
this is kind of your
the main
style.
idea.
This is kind of your style, right? Where you keep back and take your time, and so you feel at home in these positions.
It's really solid. I mean, if you look at your position, I mean, seriously, there are no weaknesses. Black's pawn structure is perfect. Your pieces are perfectly placed. I mean, no one can argue that any of your pieces are misplaced. Maybe, you don't have that much space, and your queen might feel a bit uneasy where it is now. But I think that's the extent of it. And it's not like white can really take advantage of this at this point in the game. You have plenty of counterplay. I know it might feel awkward if you're not used to giving the center to your opponent like this. But that's kind of the point. I mean, white has a center, but he has to keep an eye on it, because these pawns are not defended by any other pawns, so he always has to be on guard, not to lose any of this. And that's one problem white has when going into the attack here. It's not so easy to do so without dropping the central pawns. And otherwise, you have to make some concessions, for example, some e5, but that leaves d5 way too weak, and d4 also is going to be a target. So this looks pretty decent, really. So there are even gains on this. Yeah.
So like rook f d1, what would black's plan be?
You mean white?
Yeah, sorry, white's plan. So like rook c8, rook f d1. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's always hard to know how to arrange the rooks. I think white in general doesn't want to trade the rooks. You might expect him to put the rooks on e1 and d1. Or maybe if he's annoyed by this, he will try to trade one pair of rooks. But now there is this problem also. So it's not so easy to move the a rook, really. There are some gains from this position. One of them, a4 was played, most likely with the idea of weakening b6 a bit. There's also rook fe1, which is extremely natural. Even bishop d2, rerouting the bishop.
So if rook f d1, what would you consider here? You were saying maybe rook c3.
Rook c3 looks
and then
very natural.
Queen c8.
Maybe queen a8 even. This battery looks interesting. There's also this idea, a couple of games here, queen e8, you might want to jump into a4. I mean, rook c3 is the move that your hand wants to make, I guess. It's just unnatural. There is a game with bishop d2, and I'm not certain if this is possible, but the exchange sacrifice looks tempting. After that, you're going to take on e4, you're going to have a pawn and the bishop for the rook, and it's a huge bishop, and you have a lot of control of the light square, so that might be a possibility. I don't know. Other than that, you can always just go back, and I don't see a real problem with your position. I mean, it's just so solid. Yeah, this is kind of how you play it. You have to be patient. You have to be confident that you're fine because your pieces are in good places. I mean, nothing terrible should happen to you here. But in any case, it's the most natural way, sorry, of playing this. Oh, sorry, c takes d, knight f6, queen e2. There is a game with queen d7. Again, very interesting. I guess you're trying to go for this. Not bad. It's not so easy to jump in. I mean, d4 is always hanging. And after a4, rook
A6?
fc8.
Okay.
Wow. And now you can hide here, and you don't let you don't leave your rook in. It's a bit suspicious. I mean, I wouldn't go this far. I would just play rook c8, and I think everything is fine. But yeah, most importantly, when you have to choose here and you don't really know what to do, you have to think about how your pieces are going to feel. And I know you were worried about your queen, but in this case, rook e8 doesn't solve it anyway. I mean, all these maneuvers really look odd. I mean, for example, rook on e1, and if you put the queen on e7, d5 is something to worry about because you can't just open the e file. So yeah, and now these plans just they really look like the queen is going to be in a clumsy position. He played rook e1. Well, it looks too natural to be bad. And rook c8, queen d2. Even here, this is not terrible. I mean, and now queen. I don't know. Knight f6 is still possible, I guess.
Well, the problem is my plan was already set in motion, so, of freeing up the f8 square.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, and this is way too passive. What do you think about the knight on g6?
I liked it. I don't know what my plan was after bishop g3 though.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is that the knight has nowhere to go to. It puts no pressure in the center. That's the big problem with the knight on g6. It looks like it's kind of blocking things and it's a defensive piece, but sometimes it's just a roadblock for your pieces. You just lose influence over the center. For example, white has no worries about this pawn anymore. At some point, he might want to play e5, and you don't have a way of just jumping d5 with the knight. So yeah, you're just essentially giving white a free hand in the center with knight g6. And the knight can also be attacked in the future. I mean, h4, h5 is something to be worried about in the long run. Yeah, it's not great there. And I mean, I get it if your opponent is going to mate you or something, but it's definitely not the case. I mean, there's no huge attack. White has to engineer a way of getting the queen to the king side, and it doesn't look like it's easy. For the most part, white should probably be will need to be reinforcing the center, looking for chances to tactically make d5 work, which is a common theme. For example, maybe here, I don't know what happens after d5, but it really looks like a move that could be played instead of queen d2. At least it should be considered. Did you take a look at d5 at any point?
No.
That is kind of a typical way of using this pawn, more than e5 in this position. d5, well, it creates a passed pawn, so it's a very natural thing to try with white. Yeah, the thing is when it's going to tactically work. That's the most important thing.
Can I go c4 and then take on d5?
Yeah, c4 is an interesting try here. c4, I guess you have to go back to c2. D takes c6 now. Bishop c2. And then you say takes.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah. And then knight f6.
Takes. takes, knight f6, d6, I guess. Well, one important standard to take into account is that normally it's dangerous if the pawn can't be blocked easily. And this looks like a dangerous pawn to me.
Just wondering about taking on f3.
Takes, bishop takes, d6, rook e to d1.
It's tactical here, though.
Yeah. When d5 happens, it tends to get really sharp. Yeah, I don't really see a way you can take, because if you take, queen takes. If bishop takes, then rook e to d1. So there are no tricks here.
I was thinking bishop f3, queen f3, bishop d6. Oh, but then
bishop d6, yeah.
Then rook e8, then knight e8.
Yeah, that's why in this line I was thinking about rook e to d1 instead.
Queen c7. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, now it's rook e6. There's this.
Yeah, this looks bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets really tricky if he plays d5 here.
Yeah, that would be a huge headache for me. There'd be so much to calculate.
Yeah, I didn't check this with the engineer. It looks dangerous.
Yeah, no, I would spend like 20 minutes on this move.
Yeah, and there's also a chance that he consolidates like this, so that's really annoying. And if pawn takes, in this case bishop takes, he has this idea, and he poses the king.
Yeah, that's why I was.
And he's not even sacrificing pawn. Yeah, he's not even sacrificing pawn in that case. It's an attack for free, basically. So yeah, d5 should be paid attention to. I mean, it's hard to determine without some concrete calculation if it's going to work or not, but it looks promising here. Yeah, I have to acknowledge that it's really looking good. So yeah, queen d2. He was still on autopilot, I guess. He was just.
Let's see. Queen d2, 15. No, he spent a very long time on this move.
Oh, that makes sense. So he calculated
21 minutes. He spent 21 minutes here.
Makes sense. Because I'm 90% sure he was looking at d5.
Okay. And then it was a little unclear, and he didn't want to take the risk.
Yeah, exactly. He might not have. Something must have not been that clear to him, so he just decided to queen d2. But it makes sense. d5 is a big option here. And you were not thinking about it, were you?
No.
Oh, okay. It's a typical thrust with this. As it is now, or after c takes d, c takes d. d5. The thing is, d5, after the exchange, he gets a pass pawn, which is a really tactically sustained pawn, and it frees all the power of his piece. I mean, this bishop is suddenly an important piece. The center opens up, so there's a lot of piece contact. Normally, whoever has the most active pieces is benefited from this. So d5 is something that you should always be checking in these positions. Normally, if your pieces are well placed, then you should be fine. That's why the knight on f6 looks so good. I mean, d5 is extremely unlikely to work in that case. So knight f8. Yeah, now, seen from his perspective, this is just too comfortable. I mean, you have nothing against these pawns. He can basically choose the plan he likes. And in this case, there's bishop b5. Ouch. But even if there wasn't bishop b5, still this plan is flawed because of what we said. Normally, if you're going to give up the center like this, you have to keep the pressure. Otherwise, your opponent is just free to do as he pleases. He has the space advantage. He has nothing to pay attention to. His pawns are just self-defended, basically. So he could just push a4, a5 and create a new weakness. He could still try and reinforce the center, maybe creating chances for d5 in the future, and you'll be without a plan, most likely. So knight f8, yeah, now it gets interesting. b5 did surprise you.
Yeah, well, what surprised me was that I didn't have an answer for it, because I probably didn't really consider it because I thought I'll just play bishop c6, not realizing that I think bishop a6 followed by knight e5 is a problem.
Yeah.
And I thought for 20 minutes here, I thought this was game over. Like I thought for a very long time, like I was almost ready to resign type of deal. I was just, and it just looked hopeless for me that I'm just going to lose the exchange. But I just kept thinking, and then in the last, like, I don't know, 2 minutes of the 20 minutes, then I came up with the plan that I unveiled, which I was pretty happy to find. But yeah, it took me a long time to figure that out.
It's great that you gave him a way to go wrong here, because knight d7 does just that. You're enticing him to go wrong with knight e5, and he fell for it. Yeah, you mentioned it here. d5 is the way, and I mean this is a very favorable situation to play d5. It's perfectly defended. The pawn is certain to come to d6. I don't see how you stop it at this point. That's going to be hard. I mean, this bishop is essentially killing you on this diagonal. The pawn is coming to d6, or it's opening lines against your king. Yeah, you are in an extremely delicate situation now. Yeah, and with d5, he basically achieves what he hopes for this structure. Getting that passed pawn with extremely active pieces behind it. But after 95, you have calculated this line.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just think he didn't give me enough credit. I think if I was his rating, if I was 2300, he's not going to throw this move out willy-nilly. So I think he just thought
How much time did he take? I'm curious.
Oh, this one was quick, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, he spent 7 minutes.
Oh.
That's strange.
What did he miss here? Because it's, I don't know. I mean, he must have seen knight c4, I guess. I mean, at least here you should just take. And now, of course, it's definitely not what it used to be for white, but at least he's not dropping anything. I mean, you're fine here. I'm sure you can just play rook f8 and suddenly you're fine. Yeah, there are almost no pieces. You're going to play bishop f6, and that should be completely equal in just a few moves, I guess. Because, yeah, with no minor pieces, that extra space won't be of any help for white. But bishop takes e4. I mean, he couldn't have missed knight c4. It's your...
Yeah, and he spent 3 minutes on bishop takes e8.
Oh, so he might have freaked out to find out that you had knight c4 here.
But when I did play knight c4, then he spent just 2 minutes on queen d3.
So he was here, or if I had to guess, when he played 95, he didn't see knight c4, and once he realized, I'm just going out on a limb here, I'm not sure if this is the case, but maybe when he realized that this was a thing, he had to choose, okay, am I going to play this, which looks extremely solid for black, and I might not be able to win this after rook f8, bishop f6, and I have essentially nothing, or do I gamble and play bishop takes c8 anyway? It's a
in
huge
case I don't see it, you mean?
At least in case, or he might have just misevaluated this, but maybe in case you're not able to keep the advantage going here. But
which is what happened.
This looks really suspect.
Yeah. But the most frustrating thing, Alessandro, is I actually calculated, like, when I played knight d7, my plan was to go c takes d4 here. Like, this was my whole plan. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. I talked myself out of it for some reason. I was scared of bishop f7, which makes no sense. But what can I say? But it's just so frustrating because if I hadn't seen this originally when I calculated and planned for knight d7, it wouldn't bother me so much. But I had planned specifically. This was the whole point of doing this. It was so I could protect the knight this way. And then I even calculated it. I'm pretty sure with knight a3. And that's as far as I went. And then it's frustrating.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, so you were afraid of some bishop takes f7 here.
Yeah. I thought for a long time here too, but I thought for a long time here.
Yeah, because now you have two pieces for.
Yeah, I know. I make this mistake
good
a lot.
Pieces, very good pieces.
I'm my own worst enemy. Really, I destroy myself in these games.
Something similar to what happened to you in some game of the last tournament where you also kind of, I don't know if you counted wrong, but it was a similar problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you were also afraid of some piece sacrifice that just left your opponent behind.
Yeah, I'm a very scared player. I'm so scared of I'm
yeah, you don't want to leave this bishop alive on e8 for too long. But yeah, it's true. Now you're even better. I mean, you have great chances in this.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's no good place to go back to. At least you got a pawn, and you're going to get more than that. That's what's really interesting about this. For example, I don't know, bishop b5, you just take on a3 and hit the bishop again, which should be annoying enough. And you hit the pawn.
Like, I'm sure I would still lose eventually if I had played this, but I'm sure I could have given him a tough game and he would be sweating, you know.
Are you sure? Because it really looks like you're getting a pass pawn on c3, so I would like to see him struggle against that. I mean, it doesn't matter how much you have if you're facing a pass pawn on c3 supported by a rook and two bishops. I don't know. I mean, his set rates change. Well, it's not even net rates change after you get 2 pounds for it. It's looking like nothing, absolutely nothing here. Bishop b5, you can take.
Yeah, knight a3.
But I'm not sure if you shouldn't play. Oh no, knight b2 now just loses the pawn. So I guess you have to take on a3.
And I didn't calculate beyond this. I was just happy to. I would be happy to have this position. So.
Yeah, no,
and I had no other choices anyway.
You're right. C takes D, knight takes D, and queen takes. What's going on here? You have a pawn. You have a pawn. I guess you can take on d4 and.
Yeah.
And if rook takes
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I want maybe not. I was thinking maybe a6 or a5.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to leave this pawn alive though, because if he gets a pass pawn, that probably blunts your bishop, and if you can make this one work, you'll be very good spot.
So rook a7.
Rook a7, I guess in this.
Wait, what about just bishop e4?
Bishop takes e4.
Oh, sorry, never mind. Yeah. Bishop takes e4 instead.
And if rook takes,
actually okay, never mind. Yeah, it doesn't work. And he might even have just rook a4 there as well.
Yeah, there's also rook a4. It's a bit uncertain. There are still some threats, but you have bishop c6, and this looks good, I guess. I mean, if you
can he take? Oh, no, then I have bishop d8. Okay.
Yeah, you can always.
Oh, right, and bishop f8.
Back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this is the greatest though. I mean, yeah, it seems like you get a bishop and a pawn for the rook. I thought there would be something stronger. There might be. I'm not sure.
I think when I looked at it with the engine computer, like the rook a3, I think it was the only move. I think black is losing if not rook a3.
Where do you mean? I mean, bishop takes and now knight takes a3 is the only move?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing something right here because it should be better than this. I mean, it really looked more promising.
Wait.
Maybe
why can't we just go rook c7? Rook c2, I mean knight c2, sorry.
Oh, knight c2.
Yeah.
Oh, this is much better. Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Oh, at least you get a pawn. Oh my God, this is looking promising. You're not going to lose this. I mean, I don't care if your pawn is 2400. You definitely have a great shot at this point. And what if bishop a4? Bishop a4? Now you do have this? This might be even worse for him than the last variation, because now he can't take because we will exchange and then this bishop is hanging. You're going to get this passed pawn on c3. That's wow.
It's frustrating because this was my plan. And then I talked myself out of it.
Yeah, no, it really looks like you have the upper hand. I'm sorry, I'm going to trim down this variation because knight takes b5 here makes no sense, and your knight c2 just wins. Well, at least you get an extra pawn in the end, and he's the one to suffer for sure. You even have better pieces. I could contend that because this bishop is in the middle of nowhere and it has to be relocated most likely. So yeah, it's a real shame. After queen take, now you don't even have counterplay. You kept trying, but there are a couple of reasons to keep going, especially this.
Well, I didn't want to disrespect him because he's 800 points higher than me, but the reason I kept playing was, hey, I knew I just blundered, but I knew I had a decent position. So I'm going to keep playing because if you let me get a decent position, like halfway through the game, it's not resignable because.
No, for sure. I mean, this is not resignable. I will still keep playing. I mean, there are still pieces. He is an exchange up. He has some weaknesses. He needs to show some technique still.
And he was thinking too. Like he was using up the clock. So I thought it was worth.
Yeah, it's not so straightforward, that means. Sure, yeah. Bishop f6. You put here that Stockfish suggests f6. A hard move to play for human, though, because yeah, it just looks like you're weakening your king. I get that Stockfish doesn't want to go Bishop f6.
Sorry.
But
1 second.
yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, f6 was still a hard move to play for human. I mean,
Oh,
you
right.
don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
open up your king.
Yeah, yeah.
Rook a8, and yeah, this you're right to criticize this. You're not in a position to trade pieces.
I was kind
You
of
should probably-
frustrated at this point. I was kind of just making moves, you know, because I knew that I had a good opportunity that I butchered, and I was kind of frustrated at this point. Yeah.
It's normal, but and what's going to win you points along the way? I'm not saying that you were going to save the game or anything, because it should be losing. But still, it's not as lost as just to throw the game, so to speak. You can still keep fighting here. Yeah, your opponent was strong, and you were probably not going to save this anyway. But against any other player, this is still very much a game. I mean, for example, Queen a4 is kind of annoying already.
What do you think?
A4.
What do you think in this? What do you think if Carlsen was black here? What do you think against my opponent?
Carlsen is going to destroy your opponent from this position.
Really? Seriously?
I would just put it like that. Well, no, I don't know if he will destroy him, but
you think he'd win?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
At least a draw. You think at least a draw?
Yeah, I could picture Carlsen making a draw from this position and even putting pressure. And why not winning? I mean, if he picks up one of these pawns, don't you torture your opponent here?
So if you were a betting man, you'd put money on Carlsen to at least draw here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah, Carlsen will. I'm pretty sure Carlsen will find a way to keep the rooks at bay. Always control the squares. Put the bishop on c6, maybe maneuver a bit. Try to get one of the pawns, and then that will be downhill.
I'd love to see that game. That'd be so cool to watch.
Yeah, because White still has to organize his pieces to win this. For example, this is always annoying. E5 is not something you want to do. If you play f3, you're also kind of opening your king up a bit. It's great against this bishop, but it's also a decision to make. This bishop should be rerouted. I'll probably try to put it on 4 and force black into playing e5, if anything. But still, it's a fight. I mean, it's not... until it's just too easy to win and it's a matter of technique, I'll bet on Carlsen for sure. I mean, I'm sure he'll just play something like Queen a4 and start annoying your opponent with things like this. And actually, well, you have to play well here. c4 is still something. I mean, yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's not entirely completely easy to win. I mean, you can picture these pawns disappearing also, maybe with some pressure on e4, pawn falls. It's, yeah, I don't see it as a walk in the park for White. I know I still have to work for winning here. But rook d8, queen d3. Queen d3 looks good. I guess he's trying to play. Yeah, he played it afterwards. Well, you played queen a4 here, which is good. But in this case, yeah, after bishop takes, queen takes, he's looking at this already. And now you don't have time to take on a3. So you had to go back, and he occupies the open file. Now, yeah, this is a way better version for him, for sure. Rook takes, and now you have nothing because he just invades on dark squares. But all in all, very interesting. I mean, just something to remember about the position. This kind of position is you're a bit restricted, but you have no weaknesses. And that's something to bank on. Just for comparison's sake. I'm going to show you this version. You're going to see that the structure is extremely similar. D5, say knight f3, c5, just a regular tarrasch, c takes d, and now instead of e takes d5, knight takes d5. This variation. That it's in the same vein. You gave the you just give the center to white like this, and we have the same structure. And this is extremely solid for black. This might be a tad better of a version. At least it's a bit different, because in this case you get rid of one more pair of pieces after bishop before check, which is normally good for the side that's a bit I don't want to say asphyxiated, but restricted might be the word. Bishop d, bishop takes, queen takes. In this case, there's only two pair of minor pieces for each side on the board. Sorry. So castles, bishop c4, and this kind of Tavia for this line. And it's pretty much the same. In your game, there was one more pair of minor pieces, the dark square bishops.
Well, I would feel much freer here, though. I mean, and like, because I always have queen e7 for one thing, and like my queen isn't going to get trapped. Yeah. I've got some space for the queen.
Yeah, still you don't move the queen for a while, because there's no way to get to it. Normally people play knight c6 in this position until a game that became very famous, Polugaevsky Tal, where Polugaevsky plays a typical sacrifice with the bishop on d3. He plays d5, and after pawn takes, he plays 5 and gets an attack on the king side going. It's a very recommended game. It's there's a Greek gift sacrifice, but one that was very deep. I mean, it wasn't a Greek gift where black just gets checkmated, by the way. So black at some point started playing knight d7. It's not that knight c6 loses, but this is more solid. And this is starting to look like your game. I mean, the knight is going to go to f6 at some point. You play b6, bishop b7. It's true that in the variation you played, there are a couple more minor pieces, but you already have great development in the version you played. You already have the bishop on b7. The knight is heading towards f6. The rook is coming to c8. Your bishop is putting pressure on the queen side from e7. So you can contend that you have some, there are some differences that are in your favor. I mean, if you take a look at the big picture, yeah, it's true that you'll rather exchange some pieces. But comparing that to this position, you are a little bit better developed than you're here, and your pieces are all in good square, so you don't really mind a couple more extra pieces on the board, meaning that you were doing fine. And it's very similar in nature to this, and this is considered to be quite solid for black, really. Rook fe1, this is just a typical setup. And now knight f6 is all right. Rook c8 is still the main move, apparently. Bishop b3, bishop d3 are both okay. And, well, a bunch of moves right here. Rook e8, knight f6, queen f6. But you get the idea. The knight going to f6 is okay, and your pieces are fine. You have no problems with the queen. But it's the same idea. Your position is a bit restricted, but you're extremely solid, and white doesn't have such an easy time just creating an attack out of nowhere.
Yeah, so the thing that kind of stuck out to me, like the main lesson I took away from this is when you said how, like, if I give my opponent the center, like if he has control of the center with the pawns, I can't really just, if I play a move like rook e8, I'm kind of just rolling over here and letting him continue to develop and just control the whole board. if I just kind of tuck my way very passively here, and I kind of need to keep my pieces close by to help contest the center if I'm not going to control it with pawns.
Yeah, it's not exactly. It's not so much that rook e8 is bad because it really looks like a natural move. It's the plan behind it what's flawed. Because rook, yeah, you could play rook e8 and it would probably be fine.
But
But yeah,
knight
this
f8,
idea,
though.
yeah, exactly, just taking your pieces away from the center while he has control over it, and you have the means to put pressure on the pawns. Yeah, it's a shame. You should just keep him in check, always trying to defend the pawns. That won't give him a free hand to attack, for example. And you still have pretty good squares for the rest of your pieces. You have rook c8, so yeah, that was the mistake. And then, well, then there came the blunder in the middle of the variation you had already calculated. You took 8 minutes there to take the bishop.
Yeah.
And that kind of suggests to me that you got yourself into a tangle because you had it pretty clear at this point. Knight c4, queen d3. At this point, there are not that many options. Either you take on d4, you take on e8. And queen takes e8, queen takes queen takes e4 just leaves you whole exchange down. So there was really not that much of a choice at this point. You just have to take c takes d4 and wish for the best, which was good for you in any case. But other than that, very interesting game because you had your fair share of chances against a very strong opponent.
Yeah, that's what makes it hurt.
Yeah,
it wouldn't hurt so much if he just steamrolled me from beginning to end, you know.
Well, you probably, I mean, you say that because that didn't happen, but it's not a nice feeling when you notice that you never stood a chance. I mean, at least it leaves you with a bad taste. But here, hey, you were really close to creating real concrete problems to your opponent. Okay, do we go to the next one?
Sure. This one though, this gives me a headache. I played really bad this game, and this was the worst game of my tournament. A lot of missed chances, a lot of terrible decisions. This is painful to go to go through.
Do you want to go through another one and we leave that?
It's up to you. I don't care. We can go through it. It's fine. But it's just, there were
if
a
you
million
want,
mistakes.
what we can do is just take a look at the most important moments because I mean, going through the opening, I think you both played quite well. I mean, nothing.
I blundered on move 7.
Well, blunder is too strong a word. D3 is such a natural move.
Yeah, but for me, it's a blunder. For me, it's a blunder because C3 is part of my opening repertoire, and I built it and prepared it, and I just forgot. And I guess I didn't write it in the notes here, but I have kind of a conspiracy theory on this. Where I live, there's like close to where I live, I told you there's a chess school where there's like hundreds and hundreds of kids, and there's coaches there. And this is now the 3rd time I've had this opening, which is not so common. This is like, I think, a Neo Archangel. Not very common, but it's the 3rd time that little kids have played this against me now. And I'm pretty sure that the coaches of these kids are teaching them this opening and possibly even preparing it for me specifically. Because it's just a little strange that this is the 3rd time now that I faced this, and again, it's not a super popular opening. So I really wonder.
No, but If I had to guess, I would give my take on this. It's not that odd that coaches, especially when they have a lot of kids, prepare a repertoire for all of them. And you're going to see the pupils of Coach Ed's, they all play the same. For example, they all play the Alapin against the Sicilian. They all play, it's fairly common.
Yeah, because for a while they were all playing the London, all of them.
Yeah.
Every game is black. I had the London, and now like I see this so often against these kids. They play, yeah. So that's why I was kind of frustrated, because I forgot it. Like I was thinking about it in the game. I was thinking C3, and then you know me, I talked myself out of it. This was just slightly. I thought it might have been C3, but I got a little bit scared. What if I'm wrong? You know, and
This the position.
yeah, and I thought, oh, just be safe. D3 can't be bad. Maybe it's not best, but it's safe. So I played D3.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, it's frustrating when you go to your notes and say, yeah, it was a position I should have played what I had in mind. But yeah, nevertheless, you got a normal position, and you both played way too normal moves. I mean, this is at least it can't be harshly criticized. Even queen d7 here, but
don't look at the next move. And especially you'll really hate me. This is like give you nightmares.
What?
Yeah.
I saw the explanation. I mean, I saw some ghosts. This is what I was thinking about when I talked about ghosts in the last game, and felt I needed to prevent black from playing d5.
Which is not even a problem, but
yeah, e5 is hanging. I mean, it's so hard.
I don't know.
e5.
I don't know. Maybe I might have been scared of like a very eventual d5, which doesn't even make sense. But like rook e8, c6, d5, but it's so slow. I don't know, man. Like
at that point, you have played. You played d4 a while ago already.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just a straight up oversight, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't have questions about your bishop. I mean, when you played c4.
That's the problem. I didn't really think about it. I had the blinders on just stop d5, stop d5. It doesn't matter how you do it. You know, stop d5. Yeah, I mean, it's not I understand that my bishop is just completely terrible now. It was just a straight up blunder. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a positional blunder. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was no threat at all. That's another thing.
Yeah, there was nothing there. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was terrible.
Well, I'm sure c4 is not a move you normally make.
No, that's not like it's. I wasn't confused. Like I'm not confused why it's terrible.
Yeah, but in the case that you really need to make a move that, well, you don't really feel like doing because it doesn't seem so great. You should really ask yourself if there's not another way of stopping the threat or the perceived threat, because there isn't one here. But maybe putting pressure here. Didn't you consider d4, for example? Just hitting e5
now?
He even doesn't. Yeah, you're threatening this, so.
Yeah, but can't he just take?
Take. You can take with the queen.
Oh, take with queen.
I don't really know about this. I mean, maybe c5 and you have to go to d3 to keep this defended.
I guess I felt kind of uneasy about opening up the center. I kind of wanted to close it because of his bishop on b7.
Yeah. Though you also have very active pieces and a slight space advantage, so you should be fine, I guess. e5 is something to think about for him. c5 has to be played, otherwise this is This looks fine for you. I mean, yeah, he has some pressure on e4. You're going to have some pressure on d6. As for the pawn structure, I'm liking yours because, I don't know, bishop on c4 will be hitting this. This is a backward pawn at the end of the day, so...
yeah, d6 is very weak.
Yeah, that could hurt. He has counterplay on e4, but you have a lot to show for it. And yeah, this looks more natural. I mean, when you're going to do something that you feel that positionally is not definite on the idea, yeah, you have to look for alternatives. I mean, even, I don't know, putting the queen on e2 so that you have extra pressure. Here, when he plays d5, there are many
the problem
things
is,
to think about.
Yeah, the problem is I know it seems hard to believe, but I just didn't even consider my bishop. I just have to stop d5, and yeah, so it was kind of instant regret.
Yeah, no, for sure. He played c5, which is
and
good.
then I was regretting it instantly here.
He was a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, this is a table, right? His head barely goes over the table. You know, the chess. I don't even see. I don't know how he can see the chess piece. The chess pieces are like in front of his face, and he's just like that. I think he was 7 or 8 years old. Yeah.
He showed good position understanding, I have to say. Knight h4. You mentioned that Stockfish wants this.
Yeah.
But knight h4 is hard to. It's hard not to play this. It looks so natural.
Yeah.
Here bishop c8.
I still don't understand why he played that. It was very confusing to me.
Well, he was clearly thinking about this already. What I like about his plays that he clearly has a goal. I mean, he noticed that this bishop is doing nothing here, and that this diagonal is not going to be opened up. He tries to solve it. It might not be the most proficient way of solving it, but he clearly has a positional sense of what he's doing. You were both kind of scared of knights on f5 on f4. That's what I noticed. I mean, it wasn't the end of the world, and he just traded way too quickly on f5. And probably he didn't realize that this bishop came back to life after that. Bishop c8, queen d2. And now queen e7. Yeah, he was definitely aiming for this. But that gives you a chance to bring the bishop out of the dead. Out of the world of the dead. Knight f5, yeah. I guess queen e7 wasn't the most accurate. Now he should probably just go back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is so terrible. Well, this is something to think about already. That or knight h5, maybe. Can he play the same? Oh, no, sorry, no, not now. Oh, yeah, queen e7 just leaves the queen undefended. Better said, it puts the queen on a square where you just hitting it when you play knight f5. So yeah, I guess knight h5 here to try and do the same as you.
Bishop d1.
Bishop d1.
Oh, knight f4.
Trying to jump in.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, at least he gets
knight f5.
Knight f5, yeah.
Queen c7.
Knight f5, queen c7, queen d8. Maybe to keep the queen closer to the.
Then what?
At least he has the knight on a better square if he's going to think about taking here, because that's the game went.
Maybe king h2.
Yeah.
Knight f4, king
it's
h2.
It's going to be hard to prepare this, but knight f5 also looks good. Oh, sorry.
Knight h5, you mean?
I guess he should do it. I mean, if he's going to think about doing this, he probably be better off getting the knight to f4 first. Knight f5, I'm guessing king h7 to see if he can push.
King h2.
King h2. No, if he can play
g6. Knight g3. Or
g3.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, he's doing well, I guess. Queen e7, the queen can come to the.
What about a
to the
g3
king.
instead of knight 8? G3 instead of yeah.
G3, and we're making a mess out of it. Knight e6, maybe. I don't know if there's
knight h6. Oh wait, no, no, there's nothing there.
Yeah, maybe this can be improved upon, but I think at least it's, in any case, it's going to be a better version of the game for Black than what he played, because he basically decided on taking on f5, which is, I mean, it's interesting that, I mean, he might have still noticed that your bishop is bad, but now you have this huge diagonal, and things changed a lot now. G4. Well, now you started throwing everything at him, which is all right. You can also improve your bishop first and then see what happens. But he kind of freaked out. I mean, he went back to h7 so quickly. I don't know if it was that necessary, because for now,
well, he's scared of g5.
You don't get to play. Yeah, but it's too soon to play g5. So I mean, by knight h7, yeah, he just gives you the option of playing all this too quickly. f6 is, well, this is
remember,
terrible. Now your bishop.
You passed my notes here. He offered me a draw at queen c7.
Oh, there was a draw for with queen c7.
Yeah.
Well,
so kids love draws, man. They could be up a queen, they'll take a draw. The kids love draws. You can always count. If you're losing in a game, you can offer them a draw. Oh yeah, okay.
He had good timing this time, though. I mean, at least he did when he lost the advantage. So he was. It was a timely draw offer by him. H4, f6 is just terrible.
Yeah, goodbye knight.
At least you have to deal with these pawns. Would you play with black?
Oh, sorry, you're asking if I'm black, how would I deal with that? Here?
Yeah.
I'm wondering about g5. Yeah, maybe. Well, possibly g5 here.
g5 looks interesting. If he takes, I'm a bit more worried about him just keeping the tension, because I don't think you will
F6?
be able to take
f6 now.
f6, but yeah, again, that leaves a lot of holes. The problem I see is that you're just going to play bishop f3, king g2. You're going to double up on the h file, and you are the one who has the chance to just double up on the h file and then always threaten this. I don't see how he's going to deal with it, and this knight is just so poor.
Yeah, I've got so much play on the light diagonals.
Yeah. I was thinking about queen e7, at least always keeping this in check. I mean, now you probably have to defend h4 by means of rook h3. And at least he should make it hard for you to play g5. And now, I don't know, maybe rook ada So if bishop here, then he gets to break in the center. He has to create counterplay somehow. Otherwise, you're just put the bishop on e4, d5, push the kingside pawns, and just roll all over him, as it almost happened in the game. Well, it kind of happened because he just took a very passive stance. Now there's no d5. You were just in time to stop it. And now your position got incredibly good. And he just went back and forth with it.
He got no moves. He can't. I don't see what black can do. He has nothing.
Yeah, no. He killed his own knight. He basically paved the road for this bishop to to roam freely. This looks great for you now. Well, now is where schematic thinking comes. You have to figure out a way of breaking through, and I get it that it's not necessary. But where do you think the breakthrough is coming?
Oh well, I mean, this was just. I just got to double up the G file, just plow right through is what I have to do. I know that, and I'll explain it more in detail why I kept playing around here. But what is really surprising is I cannot remember why I played bishop e6. Like, I remember making that decision, but I don't remember why. Like, it makes no sense at all. The only thing I can think of is that I was thinking of seeing ghosts. I think there might have been something that I thought I had like some X-ray defense on G4, which makes
maybe when you put G5, you might have thought, okay, F5 will be defended.
Yeah, something like that. But it was just silly. Yeah, it was.
That doesn't ruin anything, though. That's a good thing. I mean, your opponent is completely tied down now, so he has to wait. Queen e8, rook e2, e1.
Yeah.
Double interrogation mark. Is it that terrible?
Yeah. I think the computer thought it was like 300 centipon difference, something like that.
Well, but you should still be way ahead, I guess. I mean, I don't see how this is going to. But
it's just a complete wrong line of thinking here. I'm going the opposite direction. Like the race is that way, and I'm going that way.
Yeah, rook a3. All this plan looks like it's not it. I mean, your rook should definitely be here. Rook b4.
I'm not an attacker. Like I avoid attacking. I want everything. Yeah, I want material, and I want everything to be perfect, pitch perfect before I attack. But I'm so not aggressive, and this really illustrates it.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is, your opponent will react. He will defend. If you attack him, he's going to try and create problems on the queen side. But yeah, I guess you're getting there way too fast. I mean, even here, even after all this, I mean, this is definitely the wrong idea. Let's say even from here, rook g1.
Yeah, the whole time the computer's like, I don't care what you do, reverse it and just go to the G file and attack. for the next like 20 moves. It just the whole time just go to the G file. Yeah.
For example, rook a4. Let's say he goes after rook trade.
Well, I don't think I think I would have taken on b3 because then I have b7.
You take on b3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. Though I'm wondering, can't you just break through here and win?
What, in g5?
I'm not sure. After rook takes a4, I mean. But just for argument's sake, let's say he plays rook fb, you start doubling up, and now he plays rook a4, and you don't get to take on b3. Let's put this one as the main variation, so you have no option. Let's say you take, and now...
Okay, let's just see. So So G4, if he ignores G4, I probably take on either F6 or H6. So let's say G4, Rook B4. And then I take on let's take on H6 so that his knight can't recapture. And then G takes H6. Oh, then the queen takes H6. Yeah, then that's got to be lights out for sure. Okay, so if G5, if he takes back immediately, so G5, and I guess let's say HG, and then HG, knight takes G5.
Knight takes G5 loses immediately.
I think queen E3.
If check, it will be checkmate were it not for the knight. That's the main.
Yeah, that's why I thought queen E3 and followed with the idea of rook H3.
Yeah, it should work. You can also take right away. You can sacrifice a queen and there's checkmate to follow. In this case, I mean, H takes. If knight takes, you sack the queen. And you're threatening this checkmate. Chances are he won't take with the knight. He will play F takes G. But then...
Yeah, well then rook takes G5.
I was thinking about it. I'm a bit annoyed about this because I won't be able to play rook H5. I think we're certainly better in that case, but I think you can do better right now. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the H file is the key, and
queen E2.
These pieces are way off.
Oh wait, no, queen E2. Yeah, no, wait, no. I guess, let's say rook H3, and then G6.
This looks,
and then just queen G5.
Powerful.
Yeah.
You're threatening this, and there's no way to stop it, really. Queen takes, and then you will threaten all kind of stuff. Queen G6, rook takes H7. One thing is that whenever he tries to create counterplay on the queen side, you might just trade rooks and the queen is way off. And then you have to think about the breakthrough. And of course, it takes a little, it's not entirely easy. But this, for example, looks like a complete blowout now. Yeah, there's checkmate everywhere. Yeah, the bishop on d5 is worth more than a rook.
With his pawn on G7,
yeah. Yeah, no, this is, you can definitely play for an attack. It needs some calculation, though, I have to admit that. It's not entirely easy, but definitely the right idea is to time yourself well for when he gets some counterplay on the queen side going, then you have to calculate that the breakthrough is actually good. And it really looks like it should be with the amount of pieces you have there. For example, imagine that you have these two rooks here already. He'll never dare to play something like this. Just play bishop e6, g5, and just kill him. Yeah, that's probably the case. So rook c1, rook fb8, you went after the pawn. Still he insisted on this, which is weird. I mean, he gives you the open g file and g4 for your queen even. Yeah, it wasn't necessary. I mean, he should probably go on with his thing and play knight f8 or I don't know, rook a4 might be it now. You're taking on b3 anyway, so.
Yeah, I think his idea was that my queen is kind of doing, it's not really overloaded, but it's, doing two things at once here. And I think he was trying to undermine that somehow. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, he was worried about the pawn on b3 more than the pawn on h5. Thing is, it's not even about this pawn, it's about the g file now. Knight f8. And now you went back. This one, oh yeah, you wanted to free your queen.
Yeah, it was weird thinking, but yeah, that was my idea. Let's see. This was game 3, move 36.
Yeah, this piece is huge. The bishop on d5 is
Yeah.
the most unquestionable piece you have. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have to get a piece out of where it is, it's definitely not this bishop.
It's because I had my heart set on winning b3, so I was trying to do whatever I could to grab it. I think that's actually what I was thinking of. So
yeah.
So my bishop.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's one thing to work on. You have to be flexible because your opponent changes the situation of the board all the time. And if you're set only on one plan, your opponent is probably going to try to fight against it. And if you go through, it's most likely not going to work. So chess requires that. You have to be flexible enough so that you accommodate your plans according to what your opponent does. In this case, I mean, things changed. You have to think about what has changed, and now you have the open g file. You have some extra squares, some queen g4 here. You mentioned it. I should have been more direct, such as bringing my rooks to the attack, or even queen g4. But I think my idea here was to put the bishop back on d1 so that my queen could then be more active on the king side. Yeah, that's exactly it. But queen g4 is threatening stuff already.
Well,
H6.
So. H6.
H6 is just killing. Or very close to it. Then you bring one of the rooks somehow, and that's it for him, I guess. For example, I'm thinking of something like H6, and
G6.
if queen is in D4 and D4, so you get the rook to G3 quickly, and yeah, it really looks powerful. Just for it's in fact it's even hard to play this because the bishop is there. For example, queen e7, h6. It's even hard to untangle. Knight h7, so that this is defended. And I don't know if this works. It's really pretty, but to be honest, I don't know if it's so good. If he takes somehow, rook g3, I don't see how you defend this. Because if he takes, you just play queen g8 and rook takes g8.
Yes, yeah, maybe sack the exchange on b7 or on g8.
Yeah, rook b7 and try to keep yourself alive there. But yeah, you're going to take and then take on b3 and then you invade with the rook. I'm not even sure about this, but for sure you can just do it in a simpler way. Play, well, most likely rook a1, rook c1, and rook g1, and then this is always there. It's not going anywhere. So you don't even need to do some weird and flashy stuff. So bishop f3. This actually reminds me of a puzzle I've seen. So let's just make some moves. I don't know. He might try to accommodate his rooks so that he can defend the second rank. I don't know. I don't know if this isn't a thing. You always probably have to keep checking this, but for now we're going to ignore it. You always have h6 in any case. Now h6. I don't know if it wins right away. Yeah, you don't even need to do anything odd. I was thinking about something like this, just for argument's sake. Let's say king g2, getting the king out of there, king h7. You bring the rook back. You're supposed to have time to do this. I mean, if anything, you have some interesting tactics to get into his position. For example, queen g6 here. I don't know if it entirely works, but it looks like it should.
Oh, and then trying queen h6.
Well, if king it's true that king h8 still
but queen h6
ruins our plan.
Oh wait, yeah, it's not
Queen
quite.
h6, but,
So we have to double up on the g file first. To double the rooks.
Yeah, we still need to. Yeah. I was thinking if knight takes, pawn takes, if king h8, he also has king h6, so it might be flawed anyway.
Rook g5, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. But yeah, I mean, there are tactics everywhere. I mean, this won't probably work. H6 is always there. I don't think he will survive.
There's a game in the oh shoot, I forget the name of it, but there's a famous game. What's the name of the opening? The Max Lang attack.
Oh.
Where there is a very famous attack. I was just reading about it in The Art of Attack, the book, The Art of Attack. Yeah, there's a famous game in the Max Lang attack where you sacrifice a queen and then you have kind of the rooks finish like that. Similar. Reminded me of that.
I'm going to look it up because I have the book.
the Art of Attack, you mean?
Yeah, I have the Art of Attack.
Yeah.
I think it's at my parents' home, but I will look it up.
Yeah, I'm halfway done it. I'm halfway done it right now.
It's nice. The examples are great. I really like the book. How are you liking it?
I don't like it because I'm not.
You don't enjoy attacking.
Yeah, I don't really like it so far. And I actually have the Chessable version where Simon Williams he's got like 26 hours of video on it. It's just like he does the whole book on video, and he goes into great detail of everything. And it's I don't know. It's not the worst book I've read, but it's not really my favorite. So I'll finish it and then I'll continue some of my other books. So far, my favorite is still Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual. That's still my favorite. I like technical. I really like technical books like that. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's more, it fits your profile a bit better. Well, here you keep going back and forth. Finally, you even play these. King h7, rook a1.
Finally, I played rook a1. I finally realized, okay, what am I doing over here with b3? Just get to business on the g file. But then
the good thing about your position is that you get to do this because you look at the time to go back and forth. I
have the freedom.
And now what? Rook c1, rook a4.
But then I'm like, wait a second. The power of the materialism just drew me back into the dark side again. It's like, oh no, don't give up the pawn. You can hang on to the pawn. Oh, it was terrible.
Well, if anything, you can still hang on to the pawn if you want. Rook g2. Yeah, I mean, this one is completely irrelevant, but yeah, I get the feeling. But yeah, you're getting here, and it looks like you're going to demolish him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think part of the reason I went to a1 as well was I didn't see how I was going to break through.
Something like, oh, well, now he can't defend. Now he can't defend the pawn because there's no rook b7.
But did I have time?
he should play something like this maybe before taking.
Yeah.
Let's say he goes for this, rook here, bishop d5 really looks like should be the move.
Oh, I remember now. The queen. I think the computer wants to just kick off the king. Yeah, and that's what I missed. That was the idea I missed.
Yeah, if you give a check and play hc, that's kind of
that's the idea. I missed the queen getting off the g file because it's kind of counterintuitive.
There are some ideas with bishop g8. I mean, you still don't threaten this, but it's getting close. I was checking for that also. I mean, even here, you might as well play, if you have the time, bishop g8, threatening checkmate, something close to checkmate. But yeah, it really looks like there should be something there. Rook a1, yeah.
I chickened out.
He plays rook a2, and you go back. And now he takes.
Yeah, I forgot about h5.
But now you were in time pressure, both of you?
Hang on, let's see, 45. Yeah, well, no, he's got 52 minutes. I've got 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I am, and 5 over the board is not a lot of time. Yeah.
No, definitely not. King h6, rook g3, rook b4. I mean, he's stretching it definitely.
Yeah.
And now you go for it.
I don't blame him though, because I kept changing my mind, going back and forth. So he probably thought there's nothing. This guy's not going to do anything.
It's my turn now.
Yeah.
But now you missed the checkmate.
I missed it at least a few times, yeah. But I mean, it feels terrible. But at the same time, I was down to 1 minute, so I let myself off the hook a little bit. I mean, just because I was down to 1 minute or sub one minute here.
Yeah, this was so unfortunate. Yeah. Because, you basically take the rook anywhere on the 7th rank, and then this is checkmate.
I was looking for it. I thought, there's got to be a checkmate. There's got to be a checkmate here. Where is it? And I kept making, I made a few, waiting moves just to get increment. And that's why you saw, rook g3. Because I'm just trying to get some increment back to find the mate. And then I just couldn't find it. Yeah, that was to buy time.
Sense.
Yeah.
And now bishop d5. Yeah, now you
that
don't
was
have it.
yeah that was wasting the one tempo I needed to put it on the 7th file.
Well, it's a fitting result. I mean, kind of everything happened in the game. Though you had the upper hand in general. I mean, your opponent was better for some time for positional reasons, but you turn the tide really when you play knight f5 and you
and then bishop
and you
d1.
recovered your bishop. Yeah, bishop d1, bishop f3. From that point on, you definitely were putting pressure on him. But yeah, it kind of required some more willingness to take the initiative and go for it on the king side.
Yeah,
and not worry so much about the pawns.
Yeah, it's
hard because
Sorry, go ahead.
It's hard because it requires a bit of calculation. It's not entirely easy. For example, you need to have the idea that when he tries to break through on you might exchange a couple of rooks, deflect the queen, and then you push g5, for example. Those lines should be checked when you go for something like this. I mean, it's not entirely easy.
And now you know why I'm reading The Art of Attack, because I am so non-aggressive, right? I should be I should play on the Switzerland team because I'm neutral. I really do not like to attack at all. I go out of my way sometimes to avoid it. I'm so passive. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, this position screamed for an attack. Your bishop on d5, the open g file. it almost looks like a crime not to attack here. It really feels like there should be something, and that you should be faster than your opponent. All your pieces are better. Yeah, and the counterplay on the queen side is also not so quick. I mean, he has to really go out of his way to take your b2 pawn, and even that might not be the end of it, because you your attack, and the b pawn might not be relevant at all.
Yeah, I know. I think I've said it. Yeah. I think I've said it before, but I make Petrosian look like the most aggressive player ever. Okay, so here's the moment of truth. What do you think my opponent was rated? CFC rating.
Okay.
And I'm going to look it up because I don't have it written here.
Okay, let me see. He played the opening really decently. I mean, he really knew where the pieces went. After he played c4, he played c5. I don't know if instantly or not, but clearly he had a notion that he kind of had to entomb your bishop, and that this structure is good for him. You don't have d4 anymore. Of course, then he went horribly away, and then he didn't notice that by taking on f5 so quickly, your bishop came back to life. So that was a bad position blunder for him. I would guess... I mean, afterwards, the game was complicated enough for him to go wrong. f6 was horrible. This move, f6 really screams that he has some positional issues that he has to work on. Other than that, the rest, I mean, is normal. I mean, h5 is to try to be active. I won't blame him for that so much. I'll guess 1400?
1075. 1000.
1075.
Yeah.
Way too underrated.
Well,
I mean,
he is a kid.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, it's tough, right?
He's underrated, definitely. I mean, a 1000 player doesn't play like this at all. I mean, he's not hanging stuff. He clearly had a good notion of where the pieces went in the opening, which is something you don't find at that rating level. Then he made positional mistakes, but nothing too hard. It kind of required you to transfer the bishop all the way back to the center for you to exploit his positional blunder.
Because like when I was a kid, like somebody rated 1000 over the board, they're hanging their queen, they're hanging the rook, like every move. And now it's just like, it's so hard. I mean, yeah, he made a lot of mistakes, as did I, but I mean, it's still a lot of work. Like there's no easy games anymore.
No, he's underrated though. I mean, someone that has been around for a good while and is 1000, I would expect that someone to play a lot worse than this. Someone with a stable rating of 1000 and something. I would expect that player to be a lot worse than this, because Black played a game. I mean, it wasn't a disaster at all. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me, for example, that he was a 1500 player. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, I've seen 1500 players make way worse mistakes than Black made in this game. So yeah, they are underrated.
But you can kind of sense earlier what we talked about at the beginning, my frustration about playing in the open, because it's like, as I say, if I beat him, I'll get maybe 1 point if I'm lucky. But if I lose, even drawing him, I lose like 15 points just to draw him.
Yeah.
And so it's like there's no. So the tournament, like I'm spending a lot of money to travel there and everything and time, and then I play all of these kids, and it's. I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating because there's like no upside. I guess if I had beaten them, then I would have played stronger players. So it's myself to blame, I guess. But.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And that happens. I mean, you won the first round. The second one, you lose a game you're supposed to lose. So no big issue there. And then you face this kid. And yeah, I mean, this game really escaped your hand. I mean, you were on the driver's seat for most of it. I mean, if you win this game, the tournament is just completely different. You're going to most likely you're going to get a stronger opponent, but someone who's also higher rated. By making this draw, and I know how it goes because it tends to go like that, then you get another uncomfortable opponent that, yeah, you're supposed to beat, but you're not feeling the best, and you know you have to play another kid, very annoying, and it's probably underrated, and yeah, the tournament just goes downhill from there.
Yeah, and also it's like the end result is kind of decided early on in the tournament, because it's like, even if I win the rest of the games, I probably will still lose rating. I think.
I mean, if you keep playing against players like this, I mean, against little kids who have basically no rating, in the long run, for sure you're going to lose rating, mainly because of the fact that they play way better than their rating suggests.
You know what? There was a kid in, it was the first round or the second round. He's rated 1100, and actually his rating is established. Like, he's played a lot of tournaments for years. And he's 1100 or 1150, and he drew a 2200 player.
Yeah, he might just now be taking it more seriously and making progress. That's the thing with kids, you never know.
But
you never know what they are.
The player he drew is from another province. He's from Eastern Canada, and whenever they come and visit, they get killed. Their rating, they donate the rating here, because our province is very underrated. I mean, I know people might say that, or like everyone thinks they're underrated, but I think it's really true in our province because of this chess school where they pump out kids left and right. And because I mean, there's kids that are 700 that will play like this or stronger than this kid, and they're rated like 700, and it's crazy.
Yeah, where there are many kids, that tends to happen. I mean, and that's the problem. If you play open tournaments there, and there are, I don't know, half of the players are kids, that's probably
and it's more like 70% are kids. And I think part of the problem is here they have a lot of under 1000 sections. Like, we don't have this is like the only open that we have, like one section open. And we normally have a under 1000 section. And so the problem is these kids, they just keep playing each other, and then they have nobody to extract the rating from, so they stay there. Except for like the really strong ones, they stay in that rating group, and they never gain rating from anybody. So when they do get unleashed, it's just chaos. Yeah.
No, those open tournaments are really hard. I mean, I play open tournaments here, but the vast majority are adults. So it's not the same problem. There are kids, we all know who they are. We know they are extremely dangerous, and we really fear them, and we don't want to face them. But
how old are the kids?
There's a bit of everything. There's a kid that's, I think he's just he's 9 years old, 9 years old now. But he just turned 9. He's getting to the 2200s FIDE. No, he's 21 something, but he's adding points he's really impressive. And there are kids who are 11, 12. There's a kid that's 12-year-old, and he's approaching 2300. But those kids, we know who they are. There are others who are not as strong, but they're still pretty dangerous. I mean, with who's 11 or 12, and he's, I don't know, 1900, he's dangerous. There are many kids like that.
So
but there are not. It's not a legion of kids as you describe it. Not 70% of an open tournament. Definitely.
In like our next lesson, it'll be interesting for you to continue to guess the ratings, and The other games weren't so bad. I think this was the worst game in my opinion. Like I felt I made a lot of errors this game. The other games I'll be curious to hear your opinion because I think they were a little bit more subtle than this one. For example, the last game that I played.
Yeah.
I think that was a lot more subtle. So I'm curious to see what you like, where I could have kind of increased my
improved.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you for that. So what we tackled 3 games today, and I look forward to the next one. When is your next tournament again? Is it November?
In October. I'll probably play in October. Yeah.
What day?
Just a big open. It's from I think the 11th.
Okay.
Of October to the 18th.
Oh, you don't play on the weekend? There?
No, this one lasts like 8 to 9 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an open tournament.
One game per
only
day?
one round. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So spoiled, man.
Yeah, it's a big open. There's going to be something like $50,000 in prize money. Yeah, it's
like 50,000 Argentinian dollar or US?
No,
US.
US.
Oh wow, that's huge. US. I'm surprised.
The peso is worth nothing, so 50K would be.
Yeah, I hear the inflation. The inflation there is ridiculous, like every day. But where is the funding coming from?
Apparently FIDE. I'm
really?
not sure.
They give that much?
Yeah, it's.
Wow.
But that's not confirmed. That's what I heard.
But even 30,000 though is good. I mean,
we're not used to it. Definitely.
Wow.
I mean, everyone's going to come for sure. It's going to be a huge.
Wow, that's good. That's good. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope I can go. But yeah,
you're trying to.
I'm almost confirmed. I'm almost positive.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I have a tournament at about the same time as well, so we'll both be gone. I have a tournament on the 14th, October 14th.
Oh.
And that's a 5-round though, which I don't like. I hate 5-round tournaments. you have to like win every round, you know.
Yeah.
And that one, there's 3 sections, and after playing this tournament, I'm considering playing up in that section because I played so many kids in this one. I didn't get any chance. I didn't get any like. Well, I don't want to give you hints about the rating, but yeah. Anyway, I'm thinking about moving up a section in this one, playing in the premier section, which is basically players about 1,600 and up. And I know, I know I'll lose most of the games, maybe even all of them, but I do think I have a chance of getting one or two wins.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, at least you're playing people who you know that's their actual rating.
Right.
That's very important.
Yeah. And then I like to be the underdog because I'm expected to lose, so I'm supposed to lose.
Pressure.
Yeah. So, and then if I beat somebody high rated, it feels really good. I like to upset other people. I guess it's been a while since you've been in that boat because you're usually one of the higher.
Well, you usually feel the pressure. Yeah. And it's really. It gets to you, especially when you're playing underrated players. That's hard to deal with. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess slowly they're catching up, though, right? The kids.
Yeah, it will happen. I mean, I think the 2020 had a lot to do with this. People make huge progress without playing any tournaments, and now we're seeing that they are really underrated, and it takes time.
Yeah.
To catch up, but they are.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Thanks again. And I look forward to our next lesson.
Me too. Thank you.
Okay. I'll let you go.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
See you next time.